How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to FMSTREAMERSHOWDOWN and welcome back to the FM Streamer Showdown recap. We're going to be recapping the events of Season 5, and with a lot of regulars taking a step back for Season 5, it gave an opportunity for some new competitors to come in and take the Streamer Showdown crown. This time, 9 of the best Football Manager streamers would battle it out in a league and knockout competition to see who would come out on top. So this season's teams saw a Ligue 1 and Serie A theme. We had to see the teams made up of these players, plus you got the 5 wildcard picks. But the squads had to be 23 players this time under the value cap of £500 million. The league was a little bit different to the last time we've done a video. There is now an extra person in the league, and the bottom 2 will face off in an elimination playoff, with the loser being eliminated from the tournament ahead of the knockouts on Sunday. So it's time to have a quick look at the teams. We start off with newcomer TomFM. You can see his team with some of his wildcards. Marc-Andre ter Stegen in there. Timo Werner, Memphis Depay. Such a host of different names in there for Tom on his first outing in the tournament. We then have VikingDan. He's also another newcomer. Alexandre Lacazette up front there. No massive names, you could say, as such, but Dan's gone for a very tactical approach with his squad. Moving on to myself, DaveAzzopardi, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Kylian Mbappe, Paulo Dybala in there. Some big names in the squad ahead of Season 5 of the tournament. Doop returns. He's got some big players in there as well. Lautaro Martinez, Jamie Vardy, Bruno Fernandes also in there, with Edison, who's going to be playing in between the sticks with the pace of Jamie Vardy up top as well. WorkTheSpace is also in. This is his second season in the tournament, and he's gone for the big man Cristiano Ronaldo up front. He's also got Ben Yedder and Rodrigo and Hervin Lozano. There's plenty of attacking options for Jack. Moving on to Luis H, another newcomer to the tournament. He splashed some of his money on Son Heung-min. He's got Jadon Sancho in there. Donnarumma as his Serie A goalkeeper as well, with Andrea Bellotti and Tammy Abraham. And another newcomer in Manny. He's gone for Edinson Cavani, top goal scorer from last season. Also got some Portuguese influence in there with Diogo Jota and Ruben Neves. Newcomer Niran, aka FNG. This is his first tournament and first time in the Streamer Showdown. He's gone for Paul Pogba, spending it big, with Angel Di Maria also in the squad. Spencer FC also returns to the Streamer Showdown, but this time he's got a 2-point deduction as he didn't select the right amount of players in his draft. Some good players in there. Robert Lewandowski, Christian Eriksen, Anthony Martial. Lots to play with there for Spencer. As we move in to the first round of fixtures, it's going to be Doop versus WorkTheSpace, Spencer versus Luis H, TomFM versus Manny, and VikingDan will be taking on DaveAzzopardi. And you see our first lot of highlights as Doop played up against WorkTheSpace and grabbed a big win on the opening day of the league. And it was also a big win for Dan on his debut game in the Streamer Showdown. He smashed DaveAzzopardi, and the results for match 1 show Doop with a 3-1 win over WorkTheSpace. Spencer and Luis H had a goalless draw. TomFM did get a 1-0 win against Manny, and VikingDan with a huge 5-2 victory against DaveAzzopardi in the first game of the season. Game week 2 sees DaveAzzopardi taking on FNG, Luis H taking on VikingDan, who got that big win. Manny versus Doop and WorkTheSpace taking on Spencer. And we see here Manny as well, grabbing himself a big win against Doop this time.
Oh, hey, just hit my player! Man, this is weird, man. What is going on with this game?
And it was Spencer who managed to get a good win as well. A goal from the corner, and WorkTheSpace not having the best of time. And it was Koulibaly scoring the goal for him there. And as you can see, Manny beating Doop 3-2. Spencer getting a 3-1 win over WorkTheSpace with that late goal. Luis H grabbed a 1-1 draw with VikingDan, and DaveAzzopardi sees a second defeat in the season already, with FNG beating him 1-0. As we move on to game week 3, Doop will take on TomFM, FNG versus Luis H, Spencer taking on Manny, and VikingDan will take on WorkTheSpace. We see TomFM here, set piece galore, header over the top of the goalkeeper, a little bit of Alan Partridge in there, and a big goal, and it's going to be another big 3 points for Tom. We also saw Spencer get another huge win. Long throw into the area. And this time it worked. Anthony Martial at the back post to give Spencer a big win. Doop lost out 3-1 to Tom and Niran, and Lewis held out for a 1-1 draw. Spencer grabbed a massive 2-1 win against Manny, and VikingDan with another victory, this time against WorkTheSpace with a 2-1 win. We move on to the league table after 3 games. You can see there, VikingDan unbeaten after his first 3 matches, and he leads the top of the table. We move on to match day 4. Lewis H will host DaveAzzopardi. Manny will take on VikingDan. TomFM will take on Spencer, and we see WorkTheSpace face off against FNG. And you can see it was DaveAzzopardi with a huge win. 8-2. You ate to see it. Sorry, Lewis. And we move on to this game here. And Niran, what a goal this was. A little bit of movement there by Chiro Immobile past the goalkeeper. And into the back of the net to see WorkTheSpace fall to another defeat. He lost out 1-0 to Niran. Spencer got a 1-0 win over TomFM. Manny and VikingDan drew 2 goals each. And Lewis H losing 8-2 to myself, which was a massive win. Game week 5 sees DaveAzzopardi take on WorkTheSpace. Niran will take on Manny. Spencer will face off against Doop. And VikingDan will take on TomFM. And it's VikingDan as well, who got himself another 3 points. What a tournament it's turning out to be for Dan. And this is a fantastic counter-attacking goal. What a run this is by Frankie de Jong. And he smashed it across the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Dan's delighted. You love to see it. And it was a good win for Doop as well. He beat Spencer 1-0. Great goal by Marcus Rashford. A cross goal right into the corner to give Doop a crucial 3 points. And a confirmation of the results for game week 5. DaveAzzopardi grabbing another win this time against WorkTheSpace. 3-0. FNG losing out 1-0 to Manny. Spencer losing out 1-0 to Doop. And VikingDan getting himself another big victory. 3-0 win over TomFM. Moving on to game week 6. Doop will take on VikingDan. DaveAzzopardi will face off against Manny. TomFM will take on Niran. And WorkTheSpace still needing his first win, taking on Lewis H. And it was Lewis H actually who made matters worse for WorkTheSpace. Win for Lewis, keeping him out of trouble and sending Jack into even more trouble. And we see this game, TomFM against FNG, doing all right on his debut season. And he gets another goal here. And this time it was Niang scoring the goal. And you can see there, Tom with that narrow 1-0 win against FNG. Manny beating DaveAzzopardi 1-0 as well. Doop losing out 1-0 to current league leader VikingDan. And WorkTheSpace getting smashed 4-1 by Lewis H. You can see WorkTheSpace rock bottom after 6 games, 0 points. And Dan leading the way after game week 6 on 14 points. Still lots to play for. DaveAzzopardi will take on TomFM in game week 7. FNG versus Doop. Lewis H will face off against Manny. And VikingDan will take on Spencer. And it was another big win for VikingDan as he continues his rise at the top of the table. It was DaveAzzopardi with the goal against Spencer. And we move on to the game between Doop and FNG. Doop grabbing this equalising goal from JB Vardy to give him a huge point in the battle to avoid the elimination game. And you can see there, TomFM beating DaveAzzopardi 3-1. FNG and Doop holding it out for a 2-2 draw. Lewis H grabbing a big 3 points, beating Manny 2-1. And VikingDan beating Spencer also 2-1. As we move on to the penultimate game of the league, DaveAzzopardi will take on Spencer. Niran versus VikingDan. Lewis H taking on Doop. And WorkTheSpace still searching for his first point, taking on TomFM. And Lewis H more or less surviving now in the league. He beat Doop in the end with that goal just before half time. And Spencer with 10 men with an unbelievable 3-1 victory against DaveAzzopardi.
Managerial Managing Creative Consulting Limited. Come on!
And game week 8 saw Spencer beat DaveAzzopardi 3-1 to leave him in a bit of trouble going into the last game. Niran and VikingDan drawing 0-0. Lewis H beating Doop 2-0. And WorkTheSpace losing again, this time to TomFM 2-0. And we go on to the final game. It's all to play for. At the top, TomFM will need a big win to win the league. But it goes to the final game between Doop and Dave to see who goes into the elimination game. As you can see there, Doop versus Dave, Manny versus WorkTheSpace, Spencer versus Niran. And TomFM will need a big win against Lewis if he wants to win the league title. But it was Lewis who got the win in the end. He'll take this. It was a shaky start to the season for Lewis, but he grew into the campaign and he's done extremely well there with another 3 points. And WorkTheSpace
I'm sorry.
Lozano! Chucky Lozano! We've
FM.
got a point!
FM.
We've got a point! He's managed to get himself a point. He drew 1 goal each with Manny with a 94th minute equaliser, which Jack will be delighted with. But Doop and Dave draw a 0-0, which sees Doop safe, sends DaveAzzopardi into the elimination game. Manny and WorkTheSpace drawing 1 goal each. Spencer drawing 1-1 with Niran. And TomFM losing out 2-1 to Lewis H. And that is the league table after 8 games, after game week 9. WorkTheSpace with just 1 point. VikingDan smashing the league with 18 points, completing the season unbeaten. Only the best can do that. Well, there we go. Confirmation of Dan actually winning the league. We'll go on now to the knockout games. Let's see who he's going to be facing up against each other ahead of the elimination game. So the elimination playoff winner will take on VikingDan, who won the league. Doop will take on TomFM. FNG will take on Lewis H. And Manny will play against Spencer. This is where Saturday's form goes out the window. It comes down to who is the best manager. And we see here the playoff game exclusively on the lowdown on Sunday. So DaveAzzopardi pick up a massive 4-1 win against WorkTheSpace.
Is that DaveAzzopardi will be facing off against VikingDan in the quarterfinals of the Streamer Showdown.
And then we see the quarterfinals confirmation of the fixtures. Dave taking on Dan, Doop versus Tom, Niran versus Lewis, and Manny taking on Spencer as we move into the quarterfinal. And it was a shock result in the first leg. DaveAzzopardi grabbing a massive win against league winner VikingDan. And also Doop grabbing a massive victory as well. The two strugglers who managed to stay in the tournament. Doop, 3-0 win.
I don't believe what I'm witnessing.
And there's confirmation of the results. Dave with a 2-0 win over Dan. Doop with a massive 3-0 win over TomFM. Niran losing out 2-0 to Lewis. And Manny leading Spencer 2-1 on aggregate. A lot to play for going into the second legs though. We did see Manny with a huge win in the end. What a dramatic ending this was to the game. Scoring so late to ensure his place in the semi-final of the tournament.
Diogo Jota.
I can't believe it.
They didn't believe in you.
And it was TomFM. What a turnaround. He smashed Doop. 5-0 to overturn that 3-goal defeat he had. And as you can see, there's confirmation of the results. Dan and Dave drawing 3-3 to see Dave through 5-3 on aggregate. Tom beating Doop 5-0 to win 5-3 on aggregate. Lewis H was through after a 3-2 win over FNG. And Spencer and Manny, well, of course, Manny going through. He's playing up against Lewis H. And DaveAzzopardi will take on TomFM. Let's see what happens in the first legs of the semi-finals. Well, TomFM took the lead against Dave. Nicholas Sula with the goal, but Dave did quickly equalise. And it finished 1-1 in the first leg. Kylian Mbappe scoring the goal. But Manny managed to grab a win against Lewis H. 2-1 in the first leg of the semi-final.
Box it.
Oh, he doesn't need to.
And there's confirmation of the results of the first leg. Manny winning 2-1. And DaveAzzopardi and Tom level going into the second leg. All to play for really in both ties. It is so close at the moment. Let's see who takes advantage and can get through to the final. And it was Manny who managed to pick up a convincing win over Lewis H. to see him through. Eddie Salcido, his man, to see Manny through to the final. And it was this one for Tom. Tom, in the end, a very close encounter between the two teams. Scoring the goal, a bit of Alan Partridge again, and Tom sees himself through to the final after such a close encounter. So the results there as follows. Manny beating Lewis H 4-2 to see him win 6-3 on aggregate, and Tom and Dave a 3-2 game in the end, which sees Tom scrape through 4-3 on aggregate. So it will be a Manny and Tom final. Two newcomers to the tournament taking each other on. So let's see who can take advantage and win Season 5 of the Streamer Showdown. And it was Danny Olmo for Tom in Leg 1 with his first goal of the tournament. An absolute beauty from the edge of the area. Tom couldn't believe it, but Manny needed a big reaction in the second half, and he got it. Wonderful work by Neymar to slot home just after half-time to make it 1-1. But Neymar wasn't done there. Fantastic work down the right-hand side, and Neymar at the back post made it 2-1 to give Manny the lead going into the second leg. unbelievable. Tom had a lot of work to do if he was to win the final. And he got his equaliser, Timo Werner, with just under half an hour gone in leg 2. And he made matters worse for Manny quite quickly after. Almost instantly after that first goal, it was 2. Fabio Quagliarella scoring to make it 2-0 on the day. Tom goes ahead on aggregate. Unbelievable. And to make matters even worse for Manny, Tom goes 3 up. Danny Olmo popping it with a goal again. And what a 10 minutes or so in game that was for Tom. To turn this game on its head. Manny needed a big second half though. He gets that goal with Eddie Salcido just after half time. And fantastic work down the right hand side again by Neymar. Ball in. What a header that was by Callum Wilson. What a game. To make it 3-2. It's level on aggregate. Going into the last 25 minutes or so of the game. And Neymar, who had been unbelievable in this tournament.
Wilson! Come on!
Finds Callum Wilson to slot home again. And you won't believe it. With just over 5 minutes to go, he does it again.
Oh, it's Callum Wilson! Off of Eddie Salcido!
Is that the hat-trick for him?
Is that a hat-trick?
Oh
my God.
What a game of Football Manager. What a turnaround in this second leg of the final. Manny, against all odds, after being 3-0 down, has turned it around and won in his first ever Streamer Showdown. Commiserations to Tom and everybody else. What a gallant effort it was by Tom, but Manny has won it. There you go, champion of Streamer Showdown Season 5. Fair play to him. It'll be great to see him back, hopefully for next season. And what a fantastic tournament it was. So if you did enjoy the Streamer Showdown, let us know in the comment section down below and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it today and you're still enjoying the Streamer Showdown. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for some more updates on Streamer Showdown action. And in the comment section, let us know if there's any Football Manager streamers that you think should be in the next tournament. Until next time, guys, look after yourselves and we'll see you all very, very soon.